The purpose of this short video is to give you guys an idea how to fill out the concert report forms. So what you see here is the first concert report form. You'll use this for your first concert. That is, unless you go to an opera. And if you go to an opera, download the opera form and fill that out instead. So anyway, this is probably the form you're going to use. And as you can see, a lot of it is pretty obvious how to fill out. Obviously put in your name, when you go to the concert, write when it was, where it took place, the name of the group or ensembles performing. Describe the environment. Of course, if you download this on your computer, you can take more space here, fill in more stuff as you type. Question number 4A were program notes provided. The difference between a program and program notes is that the program will show you the pieces that are being performed, and program notes will give you descriptions of those pieces. Were there any spoken remarks? Was there any kind of change in the program? And so on. Question number 5, just don't leave it blank. At the end of the semester, by the end of the semester, you should be familiar with these different kinds of genres or piece types. For right now, or a little kind of early in the semester, the hint is that a lot of times the title of the piece will give you the genre. For example, if you listen to Beethoven's Symphony No. 5, that's an example of a symphony. If it's a concerto, that means that there's some kind of solo instrument, and that will also be in the title usually. Sonata, the first thing that's listed here, would refer to a type of chamber piece for instruments, and we'll go over that later in the semester. Question number 6 is a pretty big topic that we'll get into later. If you get to a concert anytime soon, just don't leave the answer blank. Program music means that the instrumental piece of music had some kind of literary or pictorial association. If you're not quite sure, you can guess. The best way to get the right answer really is by the title. If you see a title like Symphony No. 40, that's probably not programmatic because it doesn't have any kind of suggestion. It doesn't give you any kind of an association to think about when you're listening to the music. Whereas something like Romeo and Juliet would be programmatic because it's it refers to the Shakespeare play. Okay, a little bit of explanation for question number 7. This asks you to choose 2 complete works from the program and fill in the blanks. Now, some of you might end up going to a concert that has only one piece. For example, the New Mexico Philharmonic played Mahler's Symphony No. 2, which is a gigantic piece, 5 movements long, and that was it. There was no pause. That was the whole concert. So if you went to a concert like that, or you may go to hear the New Mexico Philharmonic play Beethoven's Fifth, and that's it. What you would do is write down the composition and the composer in both places, and go ahead and list all 4 movements, but twice, and then circle the movement that you're going to be describing in that particular column. So, for example, if you hear Beethoven's Symphony No. 5. Let's say you list all 4 movements, circle the first movement if that's the one that you're going to describe. Okay, let me show you an example of a concert program. Okay, here's a picture of a concert program, and this one's pretty old. I found this on the internet, and I like this one because it's a typical classical program, and also I'm able to blow it up, so hopefully you can see this. All right, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Here at the top it tells you who's playing. It's the Boston Symphony Orchestra, and when and where. Let me scroll down so you can get an idea of how many pieces are on this program. Can you tell how many pieces are on this concert? Some of you might have different answers. The correct answer is 3. These are the titles of the pieces. Overture to Lenore by, that's the title of the piece, and that's the composer Beethoven. The second piece is called Symphony No. 4 in B-flat major, Opus 60. Opus just means work, and that is also by Beethoven. And the third piece, which is after the break or the intermission, is Symphony Number 5, Opus 47 by Shostakovich. Okay, so let's say you thought there were more pieces than 3. You probably were counting what are called the movements. So take a look at the second piece by Beethoven here, the symphony. Typically, a symphony is made up of 4 movements. Now, a movement is a part of something bigger. It might sound complete in itself. And by the way, if you're at a concert and you heard this piece, you might be tempted to clap at the end of the first movement, but actually you're not supposed to. So wait till the conductor turns around and you know it's over. But anyway, a movement might sound complete in itself, but it is part of something bigger. So Symphony Number 4 has 1, 2, 3, 4 movements. If you happen to go to this concert and you were filling out the concert form, you would copy down Symphony Number 4 in B-flat major, Opus 60 as the title, Ludwig van Beethoven as the composer, and usually, well, I shouldn't say usually, but sometimes it'll give you the dates of the composer next to the composer's name. So if that's not provided for you, you might need to Google the composer's name to find out which historical period it was written in. So anyway, you would write these 4 names under the movements. These are oftentimes what are the tempo markings of that particular movement, how fast or slow it is. Then there's an intermission, and then here's another piece, Symphony Number 5, Opus 47 by Shostakovich, and these are the 1, 2, 3, 4 separate movements. All right, I hope that helps. That is your typical concert program. By the way, if you go to something big like a symphony orchestra concert, chances are pretty good that they will also have program notes, which you might find very useful. Okay, let me add that if you were going to use this concert program for your concert report form and you wanted to choose the first piece and fill this out, you just write this as the title, Overture to Leonore by Beethoven as the composer. That's the person who wrote the piece, by the way. The conductor is the person up front that's waving the baton. So if you're going to use this one for your first example, you would write this as the title, and then you would, where it says movements, you would just leave it blank because this is a standalone piece. It's a single movement work, and that means that you just leave the movements blank. The other thing to add is that if you hear something like a concerto, usually there's going to be 3 movements. Sometimes you might encounter an odd number of movements, like Mahler's Symphony Number 2 has 5 movements. So in that case, you would want to add 1 more movement to the list there. Okay, when you go to the concert, make sure that you pick up the program. Really, you need the program, and you'll want to scan it, and you'll also want to keep the ticket and scan that as well, and submit it to me. And let me show where you want to do that. Okay, here on the left, you'll see our list of tabs here. I'm just going to point out here where it says concert reports. That's where you're going to submit it. And let me just show you. Underneath that is the concert info tab, which has the updated links on there. So if you're still deciding what you're going to go to the concert info. Concert reports, I'm going to click here. Now this is where you're going to find the concert report form. So you go ahead and click click on the concert report form, and that should open for you. And let me know if it doesn't, in which case I'll put some other PDFs or items underneath, so at least you can get the content. Hopefully this will open for you. And what you want to, this is going to be your concert report, and then fill it out. And then when you submit it, you want to click here where it says assignment. You click on that. That might have been a little confusing with the assignment last week for the concert report, the concert search. I thought most of you figured that out, but I highlighted it in blue so you would click on it. Anyway, this is where you want to submit it, so you'll put your file as an attachment. So there you'll make sure to attach your file and then click submit, and that's it.